Picture two people, same city, same neighborhood, similar rent. The first person earns $95,000 a year. They have a brand new car in the driveway, a 75-inch TV on the wall, and a closet full of clothes they barely wear. They check their bank account with a knot in their stomach. 2 missed paychecks and they are in serious trouble. The second person earns $52,000 a year. They drive a paid-off car. Their apartment is clean, simple, and calm. They check their bank account with confidence. 18 months of expenses saved, 20% of every paycheck going straight to investments. Same neighborhood. The person earning almost half as much has 10 times the financial security. This is not a story about income. This is a story about something most people never figure out. And if you stay with me for the next few minutes, it is going to permanently change how you see money. Today on Simply Finance, I am going to show you the real reason most people stay broke no matter how much they earn. I am going to walk you through exactly what separates people who always have money from people who never do. And by the end of this video, you will know what to change starting today. Here's what most people do when they want to fix their finances. They try to earn more, they pick up extra shifts, they apply for promotions, they start a side hustle, and none of that is wrong. But here's the problem. If the real issue is never addressed, more income just creates more spending. The lifestyle expands to absorb every dollar. And 6 months later, nothing has changed except the numbers look bigger. The person earning $95,000 is not bad with money in any obvious way. They do not gamble, they are not reckless, they just never questioned one assumption that is quietly running their financial life. And that assumption is costing them everything. Here's the concept that changes everything. Everything you own costs you money twice. The first cost is obvious. It is the price on the receipt, the number you hand over at the register. Most people think that is where the transaction ends. It is not. The second cost is what most people never calculate, and it is often larger than the first. The second cost is the ongoing drain that every possession creates. We are talking about storage, maintenance, insurance, mental energy, and opportunity cost. That is the real price of owning things. Here's a simple example. You buy a treadmill for $800. Sounds reasonable, but that treadmill takes up 20 square feet of your home. In most cities, floor space costs $30 to $50 per square foot annually in rent. That is $600 to $1,000 a year just to store a machine that mostly holds laundry. Take it further, that boat sitting in someone's driveway? Industry standard says annual maintenance runs about 10% of the boat's value. A $30,000 boat costs $3,000 a year to own, even if it never touches water. And then, there is the cost most people completely ignore. Opportunity cost. Every dollar you lock up in a possession is a dollar that is not working for you. That $15,000 home gym setup, sitting mostly unused, could have been $15,000 in index funds. Over 15 years at a standard market return, that grows to roughly $50,000. You did not just buy a home gym, you traded away $50,000 in future wealth. But here is where it gets really interesting, because this is not just about stuff. The reason high earners stay broke is not because they buy one big thing. It is because of what researchers call lifestyle inflation. Every time income goes up, spending quietly rises to match it. The raise becomes a nicer car payment. The promotion becomes a bigger apartment. The bonus becomes a vacation that wipes the account clean. And the dangerous part is that none of it feels like a mistake. Every upgrade feels earned. Every purchase feels justified. The lifestyle becomes the new normal. And suddenly you need every dollar you earn just to maintain where you are. Economists call this the hedonic treadmill. You keep running, you keep earning, but you never actually get ahead. The finish line keeps moving. Here's what that looks like with real numbers. Someone earning $150,000 a year who continuously upgrades their lifestyle might save almost nothing. Meanwhile, someone earning $80,000 a year who defines what enough looks like and stops there, that person can invest $60,000, $70,000, even $90,000 a year once their fixed costs are set. Same decade, completely different financial outcomes. Not because of income, because of the decision to stop moving the goalpost. And this brings us to the rule that quietly separates people who build wealth from everyone else. Rule 1. Calculate the true cost before you buy. Before any purchase, ask yourself 2 questions. First, how many times will I realistically use this in the next 12 months? Second, what are the ongoing costs to own it? Divide the total by realistic uses. That number is the real price. A $200 jacket worn twice costs $100 per wear. A $400 jacket worn 200 times costs $2 per wear. The expensive jacket is actually the cheaper one. This math destroys most impulse purchases the moment you apply it. A $300 kitchen gadget you use twice a year costs $150 per use. That is an expensive way to slice vegetables. A $30 knife you use daily costs pennies per use. The numbers cut through marketing and emotion instantly. But the second rule is where most people lose the most money without ever realizing it. Rule 2. Never upgrade out of boredom. There is a pattern I see constantly among people who earn solid incomes but have nothing to show for it. They replace things that still work. The phone that functions perfectly gets swapped because a newer model dropped. The car that runs reliably gets traded in because a neighbor bought something newer. The furniture gets replaced because they are tired of looking at it. These upgrades feel like progress. They are wealth destruction in disguise. The average American replaces their phone every 2 to 3 years, usually while the previous phone works fine. Over 30 years, that habit costs $30,000 to $50,000 in unnecessary spending. Apply that pattern across cars, appliances, furniture, and electronics, and the lifetime waste easily exceeds $200,000. The rule is simple. Replace things when they fail to perform their function, not when you are bored. Not because something newer exists. Boredom is not a reason to spend. Novelty is not a financial strategy. Now here is the rule that changes everything about how you see your money day to day. Rule 3. Define what enough looks like before you get there. Most people never do this. They keep a vague idea that they will feel financially stable someday, without ever deciding what someday actually means. So the target keeps moving. Every income increase gets absorbed. Every milestone gets replaced with a bigger one. Defining enough means making a deliberate decision. What home is sufficient for my life? What car actually gets me where I need to go? What level of comfort genuinely satisfies me? And then committing to that standard even as income grows. The person who defines enough at $60,000 of annual spending and then earns $150,000 a year builds $90,000 in wealth annually. The person earning the same amount but constantly redefining enough upward might save almost nothing. Same income, completely different financial reality. Here is how you apply this starting today. This week, walk through your home with one question in mind. If this item disappeared right now, would I spend money to replace it? Be honest. For most items, the answer will be no. Those items have negative value. They cost you space, attention, and energy. Identify 10 of them and remove them. This month, implement a 24-hour rule on every non-essential purchase. Before you buy anything that is not food, bills, or a genuine necessity, wait one full day, track how many purchases you still want after 24 hours. Most desires fade. The data will show you exactly how much of your spending is emotional rather than intentional. This quarter, write down your enough number. What does your ideal monthly spending actually look like when you remove lifestyle inflation and keep only what genuinely adds to your life? Write it down, compare it to what you actually spend. The gap between those two numbers is the wealth you have been leaving on the table. The two people I described at the beginning of this video live in the same neighborhood. They face the same economy, the same prices, the same opportunities. The difference between them is not luck or income. It is one decision. The decision to stop letting lifestyle expansion absorb every dollar earned. The decision to calculate what things actually cost instead of just what they cost to buy. The decision to define enough before you get there instead of chasing a finish line that keeps moving. The math on this is not subtle. The gap between spending everything you earn and investing even 20% of it, compounded over 20 or 30 years, is a difference between working forever and having real options in your life. If this gave you a new way to think about money, subscribe to Simply Finance. Every video on this channel is built to give you the clearest possible picture of how wealth actually works, without the noise, without the hype, just a strategy. I will see you in the next one.